Our UGC videos have driven over 12 million downloads across 150 apps, but none of that happened by accident. After producing thousands of viral UGC videos, we've refined a system that works every single time. And in this video, I'll walk you through that exact system, from how we create high-converting UGC content, test dozens of hooks in minutes, and scale winning creatives effortlessly. But if you skip this video, you'll miss out on knowing the exact formula behind billions of views. So let's dive into it. To create viral UGC in 2025, going into 2026, it all starts with understanding what is already working. But that doesn't mean that you should rely entirely on random trends. Instead, your first move should be building a creative strategy that makes your content pipeline efficient and predictable. So rather than starting from scratch every single time, you can save yourself countless hours by eliminating brainstorming content ideas, fixing inconsistent messaging, going back and forth with creators, guessing what might perform well, or dealing with creative burnout without really new ideas to go on. The key is to reverse engineer what's already going viral. And without using proven concepts, every failed piece of content drains both your time and your budget. So here's the exact method we've used to generate over 1 billion views and how you can replicate it. First of all, you want to use TikTok Creator Search Insights with the content gap filter. That will give you high demand and low supply content ideas. So content topics that people already search for, that people are already interested in, but that don't necessarily have answers to on TikTok itself. So what you want to do is you want to go on those topics and use those keywords in your content to make sure that you get all that extra traffic that people are searching for. Second, you want to reverse engineer TikTok Shop bestsellers. Why? Because on TikTok Shop, people not only need to know how to go viral, but also how to sell so they get their commissions, the TikTok Shop affiliates. So you want to find creators there with low followers but high GMV. You want to pull voice of customer data from Google's People Also Ask and also Reddit to map user pain points and understand what people are talking about, what people care about in your niche, so you can create content around that. You want to validate angles. Does the format consistently hit 10,000 to 100,000 views with over 10% engagement rate, which is basically view to like ratio, and feel replicable? So can anyone do that format over and over again? And then you want to build a creative roadmap to cut wasted tests and basically drop your CPI or cost per install before you even scale. But once you find the outliers, how do you actually turn them into videos? Now, the first step to creating any kind of video is with having the right UGC creator. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean going and hiring influencers with high follower counts, because honestly, the right creator, the right UGC creator can outperform any influencer. But most brands just end up hiring the wrong people because they look at the wrong metrics. Now, founders often default to creators with big followings or polished media kits, but here's the truth. If you're only looking for influencers with high follower counts, the problem with that is most of them are super expensive, so they charge thousands per post. And the other thing is most of their content gets reach because they've built a community and they've built kind of this following that cares about what they're talking about. So if they were to create an account for you and for your brand, they wouldn't probably pull the same level of attention, and they would be much more expensive than your usual creator. And many of them just don't care about performance, so they're not really invested in the outcome. So you don't want to just hire someone to talk into a camera because they have big followings. You want to hire someone that has camera charisma, is naturally extroverted, and with the right training can ultimately convert to downloads for your app. And all you really need is a creator, someone who can connect emotionally with your audience and drive action. And that's really being a good, effective storyteller. Again, that's trainable. You can give these creators assets and examples of what's gone viral in the past, and if they're naturally extroverted and camera comfortable, they'll be able to replicate it easily. So you don't need to be paying thousands per post to big influencers. You can just pay thousands per month to UGC creators. But just as important as who you hire is where you're looking. And you can't just sit back and hope these creators find you. You need to go hunting. First thing is you want to start by searching TikTok Shop creators with high GMV and low followers. Or you want to find talent in actor or student job boards. You want to find people, again, that are tapped into social media, that are charismatic, are extroverted, and have a feel of what an aesthetic video looks like. So they probably already post on social media if they don't have experience, if they're not on TikTok Shop. They probably already have a page where they post things they like. You just need to filter for the ones who are already speaking to camera, who are already kind of, know what is aesthetic and what's not, and have low follower counts, around the 5,000 to 50,000 followers. Now, Now, that's the ideal creator. You don't have any business inquiries in the bio, so they're just raw and they know how to be relatable, and they're kind of undiscovered, so brands haven't started, spamming them with brand offerings. Now, your vet process should be, you want to ask them for a 1-minute raw intro, FaceTime style, so them recording themselves with the front camera, talking as if they were in FaceTime, introducing themselves, and you want to have them also break down a viral video on a Loom. That could be cool if you want to understand their level of experience, so you can also calculate what their rate should be. Now, you want to look for, people who know how to be emotive, they know how to express themselves with emotion, and you want to look for, good lighting, clean frame, and people who are talkative and have analytical kind of vibe. Now, if you're serious about scaling content, but you don't want to rely on freelancers or inconsistent creatives, this is your window right now. We've worked behind the scenes with over 150 apps, helping them build viral video systems that run without them having constant oversight. There's no more creative burnout, no more wasted spend on videos that flop, just clear data-backed execution that actually gets results. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start scaling, go ahead and click the link in the description to see how we can help you do it in a way that's tailored to your app, your audience, and your goals. But for now, let's get back into how to almost guarantee you can have your UGC videos go viral. Virality is not luck. That's the first thing. It's about having the right structure. You need to have structure to what you're doing in your UGC campaign to hit virality. Now, even with the best ideas and creators, if your hook and pacing are weak, viewers are gone in the first 3 seconds. Today's UGC videos need to be made for retention. You want to have jump cuts. You want to cut out anything that's a dead space, that's that's, not adding to the story. And that's what's going to create fast pacing. That's going to speed up the pacing of the video. You want to use short phrasing. You want to be relatable and talk just like your ICP, just like the people you're trying to attract. And you want to show your product. You don't want to tell people about the product. If you ignore this kind of framework, you'll keep wasting time, budget, and creative energy on videos that never had a real shot at taking off. But here's what's actually driven the 12 million downloads for us, which is repeatable structure paired with constant iteration. So you want to use proven formats. On one side, there's just the proven formats of storytelling, of copywriting, like problem solution, having an intriguing storyline, having a shock value hook. And then on the other side, you have formats that are actually viral, just native to TikTok. So you have green screen videos, you have reaction videos, you have talking head, very natural without any edits. And these two things need to be taken into account. So you use proven frameworks on both the storytelling side and on the actual creative angle you're pursuing to be able to reach a viral concept. Your hook has to create tension fast. I cannot emphasize this enough. You need to have a bold claim, a visual surprise. You need to have a promise of a reward, a pain point, something weird. You have to have something in those first 3 seconds to keep people watching. Now you want to edit for retention with cuts and pacing. Once again, if you cut out every moment that the creator's not saying anything, if you cut out every moment that's just dead air, you'll end up with fast pacing. And you want to close with a CTA that actually aligns with the story. So the CTA needs to feel organic because it's part of a story, right? So if you're telling a story, if you're telling your friend about the gym you go to, you draw, oh, by the way, the gym is this gym, that doesn't come off as a CTA, that comes off as part of the story. So you need to make your CTA relatable and embedded in the story that you're telling with your video. And you want to reuse then your top performing formats as much as you can. So you don't want to be reinventing the wheel every day or every week. You want to iterate on things that already worked once you have them. So now that you've got the formula, you're going to fall behind if you can't keep up with everyone else. And what this means is you need the systems that are going to keep creators accountable, keep the people accountable for posting every day, for posting on time, so you keep your content schedule up to date. This is not going to happen every day. It's unrealistic to think it's going to happen every day. But my advice is get people to be creator managers. Get people that their only role is to coach and to keep creators accountable. Because if they do it every day, that's going to add up and it's going to compound to your success, and it's a very good investment. You also want to measure and iterate based on analytics, and this is just as important for optimization. So you'll no longer have to deal with creative fatigue from just guessing what works. You can just look at data. The best way to keep winning is very simple. You need to know when to pause, analyze your data, and double down on what's already performing. And that's the difference between brands and apps that scale and the ones that stall. And here's exactly what to pay attention to. The cool thing is these platforms, Instagram, TikTok, they already give you everything you need to go viral because it's in their best interest that you keep your viewers as much time as possible on the platform. So you just need to use the data they give you already in the best way, right? So you want to go in the back end to your analytics dashboard on Instagram or on TikTok, and you want to see the key metrics, which are retention, watch time, two big ones. You want to look at the watch time on each video you post and see where the drop-off points are, and you want to fix for those only. You don't need to worry about 200 view jail, 1,000 view jail, whatever it is the term nowadays. You just want to look at your retention graph, your watch time graph, and see where was the biggest drop-off point. Okay, that's what I'm gonna fix next in the next video for this creator. That's it, because if you always do that, you'll end up with a winner. That's just a formula. So you can also have your own dashboards and tag videos by tone, format, emotion. A good dashboard to use, a good software to use is viral.app. They do very well with social media analytics, and you can plug in your accounts and actually look to what's working. And you want to feed winners back to your team so they can create new variants. Now that you've got the winners, you don't need to reinvent the wheel or try to come up with new ideas. The key is to reuse what already works. So most brands are going to end up killing winning videos too early, but virality compounds when you remix the winners. You want to regenerate the winner videos with new creators, new hooks, and a different angle, a bit of a different script. You want to cross-post that across social media accounts and TikTok, Instagram. And the cool thing is every platform is going to have a different way to optimize for it. So for example, on Instagram, you can repost your winners as many times as you want, and it doesn't really affect your accounts. But on TikTok, you need to be careful with that. You need to actually recreate the videos with twists so it doesn't flag you for unoriginal content. Yeah, you just want to be wary of what the data is telling you and basically cut any concepts that are not performing at all after, a week, 2 weeks of testing, and you want to try new creative angles in the place of those using the steps I outlined before. So if you follow everything I just showed you, you will go from struggling with content bottlenecks to actually running a viral content engine that scales 10 times faster. And if you're trying to build real UGC growth engines for your brand, or you're tired of wasting money on content that doesn't convert, working with my team could be the next step. So we've helped, again, apps generate over 12 million downloads without using ads or constant content production. We just handle everything end to end. So you can go ahead and click the link in the description to book a call and get access to the exact system we use to help apps scale faster and more efficiently. Thank you for watching.